In at the rank she was at, rank 2 for God knows how long, but she had never gone and got arrested. She come online and she went and did contrabands all the time. I was stood there figuring it out. How does she not know how to arrest? She's been at this rank for ages. How is she making these mistakes? And then I see her go on a contraband and I'm like, hold up. I see her go on a contraband all the bloody time. That's what she's been doing online. She's never been doing any arrests. So when we told her that she really wanted a rank up, so when she was told she had to get the arrested rank up, she went out there and didn't have a clue what she was doing and got reps. So I kind of felt bad for her, to be honest with you. But she was taught how to arrest, and she openly said to me that she did this to save time. She said she didn't want to use the third macro for tasering because she didn't have much time, so she thought I'll just use the two. She actually said that, like, she knows. She says, yeah, I know you need the third one, but I don't have a lot of time. And thought that was okay. Like, I can't, that's server stuff. I can't help her on that. See, the thing is, if you could hear our mic and stuff like that, and you could hear us say, put your gun down, do this, it might be sufficient. But you can't hear everybody's. So it means basically you would, and I guarantee it, you'll have officers just put their finger on the mic and say nothing and do whatever they want. And then say, well, look, my mic's moving, I spoke. I said all the right things. I mean, the green writing is actually meant to represent you talking. In RL, that would be us saying, police, please stop, Because green, when you put it in, it's /me. That represents something you speak.
The thing is, not everybody, the amount of people I've had, to be fair, the amount of complaints that have tried to be thrown at me would have been washed out on, you didn't use your mic, or you didn't put your text up because there's been a text glitch, like a text bug, but the mic's backed it up, sort of thing. It's kind of there as a fail safe in it.
Yeah, I do both, to be honest. I do use my mic and I do use my microphones. I find we get more complaints when we get officers don't use the mic as well, if I'm honest with you. That was partly Roxy's problem. She got a lot of complaints because she'd never used the mic. She'd walk up to people, put the macro up to put your gun away. They wouldn't pay attention to it, so then she'd arrest them. Like, essentially, she's done nothing wrong. But even admin were a bit like, nah, because the mic is the RP. She wasn't engaging in RP, really.
I think it probably didn't help is the fact that there was such a language barrier with her. Well, I say language, dialect.
I've always done both because I quite like the RP aspect of it. So I always talk as well. Like you'll hear me when someone's got the gun out. I'll be like, "Come on, I'm having a nice night here. Don't go and ruin it." You know what I mean? I'll try and have a conversation while I'm telling them to put it away. And then my favourite thing to do when I was SWAT, yeah, I'll go up to you and I'll be like, "Come on, put your gun away. What you doing? You don't look pretty with that gun. All that jazz, some nice crap." Make them giggle, and then say it again. Come on, put the gun away. I don't want to arrest you. You know, I'm having a real chill night. I can't be bothered to do it. And they'll laugh again. And then quick as any, bam, bam, handcuffs on. That's what I would do. And they'd be like, wait, what you doing? What you doing? You day tell me, you day. And I'm like, well, I put my macros up. I did tell you. If you tell them nicely, they don't realise you're telling them. So you can just put your macros up and then you can put the handcuffs on. You don't need to tase them. It's awesome. I used to love doing that. I did it all the time.
I'll just tell them to put the gun away, stop being a donut. What
I
do you
don't
mean,
like to
call me a
run.
donut?
We have got an officer, Sir Stephen, his name is. If you see him on, grab him and take him out with you and Marley. Reason being is, he keeps telling me how much he loves RP. But when he's on, all that's happening to him is he's getting shot up. Now, this geezer, he joined in December and he's rank 3. He's not fell through the cracks, Lucas. He's never bloody on. Well, he does come on, he complains, he gets shut up, and then you don't see him again for another 4 or 5 days, and then comes back again for a day, and then he's gone again. So maybe, yeah, he comes back like around about 5 days. He skirts the inactivity thing. It's the strangest thing. He's barely here, but he don't want to leave. But he's complaining every time he's online that people are not engaging in RP with him, and that's why he don't come on. So I told him the other day, I said, it's because the Vanky matters. I'm going to level with you. You mean that bloody recruit suit, and nobody gives you any respect. Every gang member shoots at you. You get treated like crap. You need to get out that suit. Get in SWAT. You get a different gameplay experience, which is true, isn't it?
Yeah, it
I
is
got
true.
shot at a lot less when I was in SWAT. A hell of a lot less.
Yeah, those suits with them shirts with them 50 pence hat. They know you can't do anything.
Yeah, that's why they're not allowed on F1, because they can't do anything and they just get picked on. I'm just looking at the rules now. Basically, Charlotte did the last lot of questions, bless her, and she had to do them quick, and I feel quite bad for her. So I've said that I'll look at some questions. I'm here, I can't leave the station or anything, so I've done my admin. Well, I finished my admin thing. I was still looking for that one geezer, but I can do that in a bit. So I want to write down some questions. What name?
Did you just say Millie?
Oh, right. Oh, God, yeah. Well, Jay, who was that? Uh, trying to think who that could be. When I first joined PD, there was 3 questions that was about violations. What is violation da da da? What is violation that? What is violation do? So I think that's all right because even though the new citizens, we can't dumb it down too much. But at the same time, that could be learned quite easily. But that would show us that they've read the that would show us they've read the rules. So some of the questions we have, what's the rules like? What would you get if you did this? What would you get if you did that? I mean, to be fair, I don't know if you need to know them or not for the interview. Like it's I need to know them because I dish them out. You guys do need to know them because things that you can get. But at the same time, you might not know the rules on them.
Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is, though, the thing that makes it difficult is that silly blue sign outside the front on the pavement that gives you the information for when you want to join. Doesn't tell you any of that. So you don't actually know the stuff you need to look at.
No, you don't. It's like the questions that we had. I mean, I'm looking now. Some of the answers are there, like clear as day to see. But the person would have had to have read all of the rules to know them.
Exactly. And the thing is, not everybody knows that little book at the top of the screen. If you get stuck, you can refer back to.
Yeah,
Some people don't actually know it's there.
I didn't know it had that stuff on there. I'll be honest, I didn't. Maybe
I didn't
green
till I
zone
found
rules.
this.
Maybe a question on the green zone rules wouldn't be a bad idea. Because no matter what faction, whether you're in a faction or not, that would be something you would need to know.
Yeah, exactly. At least it would save you ended up in state jail, like I did.
Yeah, because we get a lot of people getting messed up about the green zone rules. So I'll have a question about that. Let's have a look. Just looking at the rules here. We had a level 5 earlier spamming us with a horn. Told him, I was just packing in, I send it to admin. Did I pack it in? And I forgot to cut it. I've just said the thingy here of it's 15-minute jail time. I can still cut it, I suppose. Should I be mean to the new player? He was only 9.
To be fair, I'll be
Oh,
honest. I've arrested some people that sound about 12. I'm not going to hide from that one. I've arrested quite a few. They're like, oh, will you arrested me for? I'm going to tell my brother. Tell your brother and I'll put him next to you as well.
just reading here, you know where Dwight Fails tells everybody if it's a green zone area, the player has to say
Yeah.
it's only viable hospital area and the vehicle market. That's the only place that rule is viable.
Well, listen, if you ask Doubtfire, I'm sure he'll ring one of his admin friends and they'll clarify it.
I love it.
Listen, if you go, this is sounding bad, but if you go to the likes of VM, which I've been a few times selling cars and buying cars and stuff, you want to hear the running commentary on him. Horrendous. No wonder he gets such a bad negative rep.
Yeah. Hmm.
Someone
It's the
said to me
question.
that,
Go on,
go on.
carry on. No, you go first because I'm going to the subject.
Okay, yeah, just on the last bit. Someone said to me that if they left their gang and joined PD, because obviously Doubtfire shouts about his co-lead position, that if they joined PD and he was still co-lead, once they'd ranked up enough, he would be the first person they'd shoot.
Really?
Genuinely, because he keeps shouting off about what he's doing.
I know there's issues there. Right, I've got a question here, which doesn't sound a bit silly, but bear with me. And all the questions I write ain't going to be in order. I'm just going to put them forward and let Ben choose the ones he likes. So the first one I've written down is a criminal allowed to log off during the arrest procedure? It's a simple yes or no answer. And it sounds simple. It sounds like something we can teach in a second, which we can do. But my idea on it is, even if people say yes, we're educating. Is that?
No,
Because
I
some
think
people
that'll
don't
work.
know.
No, I think you're right there, Betty. I think there's that big thing of, and I think it's that big thing of. I agree with you with the educating, because a lot of things will be okay. No, you've got that wrong. You failed. But I think maybe if there's I don't know, if you get the answer wrong, you can be educated on it rather than it be a straight. Okay, you've got that wrong. You've now got 2 chances left.
Yeah. And someone else noticed as well. Hello, Abdul. Someone
Hello.
else had noticed as well with the interview process. It was depending on who you got.
Yes, I agree very. No, I'll be honest, Betty. The only reason I haven't, because I still didn't add the old macros. The only reason I didn't add them is because when I'm at work, I can't check them on Discord because of how intense these questions were. So I couldn't swap between the game and swap between Discord.
I like to have the answers in front of me. And to be honest with you, I told every officer, like, you can have the answers. It's okay.
What is it, Jay? Sorry? Maybe after, but I need to sort out some stuff quickly. I'm going through the event stuff and collect.
Some people was coming to me and telling me that they've been told they got the answer wrong, but they didn't understand the question. And it weren't being explained to them very well.
Yeah. See, I'd do it. I'd happily do it because you give that not wiggle room, but that understanding that maybe the on or various little bits. But like I said, that's the only reason I haven't done it, because when I'm at work, I can't do it too because of how many questions there was and what you're expected to remember. It was just a nightmare.
And I think that's why our interviewers are coming on as well, because they're not enjoying and asking them questions.
Yeah, I'd happily do it, but like I say, because of how many there was, being at work, I couldn't swap between the two all the time.
Yeah.
Betty, I got
No,
an
I
idea.
agree. Yeah, sure. Who's that?
It's me, Abdul.
Hello, hello. I don't always face the other way. Go on. Hello, what's up?
Instead of putting all the interview questions at the beginning, isn't it better to have something like a split thing? So you join the PD by with certain questions, like basic questions, and obviously throughout the start from level 0 to 2, um, you learn the stuff, kind of, if you get what I'm trying to say, and then you get another interview for ranking up.
We did think of that. Well, I say we. I always say we. SWAT had that idea to do a test before they went into SWAT, and I'll tell you what happened. We had a bunch of people waiting to go into SWAT, waiting for questions to be put together. And then what happened was, because I kept pushing, saying that's not fair, making them wait for something there even at the minute. So then they ended up doing that. And yeah, the question, I don't know how much time and effort was put into them questions Roses did, if I'm honest with you. But things like what does SWAT mean? You shouldn't have to Google something so you can pass a rank up on a game. I'm sorry.
No, they are. It is essentially on the rank 2 part. So you get like kind of verbal explanation where you give your response to it, and then there was the whole thing on rank 4 for SWAT, which to be honest I scrapped. Was the whole 3 questions and what was the meaning of this, and yeah, I kind of scrapped that. So it's there on rank 2 more so than it is across
Which I think is
anything.
good. You ask some of us questions like, do you have to use the back rows? Do you do this? Do you know what I mean? Normal questions, and then yeah, crack on.
Because I don't know if you remember, I think you were there when just before Majestic went off. Obviously with his infection and that, we were passing someone, and me and Majestic ended up having words because he was still trying to put in that they've got to, because obviously he's got this overall thing with MK. Was that they had to answer these questions. I was like, no, they're not. They've done it at 0. They've done it at rank 2. They don't need to do it at rank 4 to get into SWAT as well.
That's it. It's just a lot, and people was expecting people to do stuff that we never did. You know, I don't mind a little bit, but because to be truthful, all this started because we was getting boot campers making very silly mistakes. It was like they weren't being taught everything. I don't know, but they was making very simple mistakes. So we was like, you know what, we need to make the training harder. And then it was like, we're getting people that know nothing PD, so we need to make the questions harder. And then it got to a point where we ruined the training, it got boring, and then we made it too hard for people to join. When I say we, I mean departments, we as a whole, whatever.
Yeah, the problem is it went from, can you make it harder, to, okay, we're going to make it to near impossible.
Yeah, it was too hard, way too hard, to be honest with you. But that's going to change. It's going to be done different.
I think
Yeah.
obviously I joined about almost 2 months now, but back then I think the questions were a bit more logical than now.
Yeah, they've gone too in depth with the questions now. They're asking server rules and stuff like that, and things that, to be honest with you, one of our officers had to send a video over earlier on for clarification if something was FRP. And it's quite funny when you think about it. We've got that on our interview question. So it's just not right.
No,
We
Because
shouldn't be asking things we don't know ourselves fully.
I'll be real with you, I didn't really know anything about PD. Obviously, after I joined, I started learning more throughout my like basic rank 0 basically. So I think, in my opinion, that would be the best time for the um obviously new recruits to learn, because obviously I just pretty much came out of that. So in a way, I kind of understand it.
Yeah, I was the same. I didn't know that lot, and I think them are the people we need to cater to.
yeah, exactly. I agree. Abdul, do flobby for me, please. Yeah, I thought as much.
Oh, right.
He's currently on 419,000 medals.
So, have you done crowd control, Abdul? I'm sure we. You know what? I'm gonna. Right.
I've done everything.
He was under Majestic.
Yeah. Is he trying? Abdul. Yeah, I can say this actually because you're still. Yeah, it's not a new life, is it? He changed his name, so that might be what's confusing.
Right, okay. What was the previous to? Can we remember?
Austin.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So he did, as Austin, do many an interview crowd control. I know that. As I said, did you ever realise name change?
Yeah, he's on 419,000 and his target was 55.
Do we say he's ready?
Yeah. Especially under he'd have been ready about 4 months
Yeah.
ago.
Well, one thing I noticed under Majestic's regime is no matter when anybody asked, they always had something else they had to do.
To be fair, I did enjoy Majestic's training kind of thing because it helped a lot in terms of realistic thingy.
Oh,
I
he was
done it
good
at
with
the airport.
you into the airport and stuff. That's why I said he was good at that stuff, real good, and he should stick to his strengths and put him as a trainer and stuff like that because he was good at that. Can you do me another flubby, please?
Yeah.
He can probably jump about 3 ranks, but
I was just thinking that.
well, rank 3 is it's just to fill his XP bar for rank 3.
Because when I was doing it with, I think,
Do another
Haaland,
flubby for us.
I believe I was doing it with Haaland in the gym, and I failed that twice because obviously I didn't understand the full concept of the training and the way the macros worked until I went with the Majestic, and then I understood, okay, this is the actual main purpose of this and that.
That's it. It's down to how people teach you. We noticed things weren't going quite smoothly under Haaland's regime, so we tried Majestics. Majestics got many strengths, but and he won't mind me saying this. He's not good at keeping track on the passes and the DC side of things, but he is good at communicating with people and spending time with them. That was why Amy was paired with him because Amy was good at the DC side of things until she stopped doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because from what I can tell, the last few days she was here, she literally just took the pictures from one page and put them in another, and wrote their names down and put them on a graph. Not even a graph. I don't even understand that. There was just ticks next to names, multiple ticks next to some, which represented nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what that tick was about.
And I think another good thing would probably be is to probably partner the new recruits with the lower ranks, so they get a bit more understanding. Because when I joined, I had no clue. Like everything just felt so unreal to me. It's just like it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I think it was Bailey that pretty much helped the most because he used to pretty much be here all the time, and he used to explain a lot of stuff. So I think a buddy system would probably be more uh, easier, more friendlier towards new thingy people.
Yeah, I do like Bailey. I have tried to pair him up with a couple of people, to be honest. Right, one of the questions we had when I joined, which was a good question, and not everybody automatically passed it, believe it or not. It used to surprise the crap out of me. Do you know the Miranda rights and can you explain them to me? I think explaining them is very important because it is telling people their rights and stuff. Any suggestions, or if you think that's crap, tell me, be honest.
I think the problem is with the Miranda rights. They're good, but it depends on how many people in an RL situation have either been told them, on my occasion quite a few, have ever heard them, or even know.
American TV show.
I've had the joys of hearing them firsthand.
And me, but I was about an RP, I was about 15 at the time and I hadn't actually done anything wrong.
Believe it or not, I actually had them. I was doing a private asset job with someone, and I actually got stopped because I had two working dogs with me, with one individual, and I actually got stopped by armed police, and heard it about 6 different times from 6 different voices. So that was quite interesting. But no, it's if they've never watched anything like it, whereas do you know what I mean? I do in different RL situations, but if some people have never ever heard them, so it's kind of like asking, can you knit me a teddy bear with your eyes closed? And they wouldn't have a clue, would they?
True, that is true.
And this will make life a bit longer. But I think, the recruits that before they go to do the interview, after the passport is checked, I think it would be better to have like a sort of like a general breakdown of what's expected. So at least that way they're not shocked by the question that will be coming up.
We do try and do that. When we have new people, I always say to them, just so I'm aware, it is an interview style interview with 20 questions, because I can see them rank 5 and they're probably going to have, level 5 and they're going to have a clue. The first time I come, I failed because I didn't know that. That blue circle outside, like Lucas said, is crap. It does not tell you anything. I rocked up in here, like I kept going to that blue circle, like, well, how do you join? Like, it doesn't tell you how do you join. And then
No.
I just walked in PD one day and asked because I was sick and tired of trying to figure it out. And he was like, "Oh, follow me." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I just happened to walk up on it interview night, I think. I failed quite quickly, and then I went and then read stuff. So I've got a question here. What is the job of a police officer, and why do you want this career choice, or why do you want to be one? People always answered that to protect and serve. So I figured if I put a bit more in it, they've got to actually answer it more like an interview style rather than questions. You know what I mean? But conversational.
Yeah, the problem is everyone naturally thinks it's like if you go for a job interview and I don't know, I don't know, it's a people pleasing job. People will naturally say, "Oh, because I want to make such and such happy, or I want to please this person." Everybody naturally uses that. I want to protect and serve because that is what is
They won't be
expected.
allowed
They won't be
to.
allowed to.
I will actually be putting it if that's one of the questions that gets used. If anybody uses that answer, they've got to elaborate. If that's all the answer they've got, they fail on that question.
Or can it not be reworded as such as what I don't know, what attributes can you bring to being a PD officer? Something
yeah,
to
we'll
that.
try that.
I think that's better suited, yeah.
Because at least then you're finding
Should we say
out.
qualities? A lot of
Yeah,
people might
that's
not
a
know
better
that.
word. So I do tend to start eating the dictionary at this time at night.
Got to have some questions in there. I'm just thinking what questions. See, violations, even if they know one off by heart, it's a crap question. It's things I learn anyway.
Exactly, because in all honesty, if you told me, name me a violation of 2.7, I couldn't do it without looking.
That's it. So it's extortion, but that's it. It's the thing is they try to use the 2.7 or the 2.4 because them things that we do arrest for. So the way they did it when they did the questions, they figured if they put them in there, they would have to have read them to know the answers to that. But at the same time, they can just write them down and read off.
The thing is as well, you're also, in essence, you kind of setting people up for failure at the same time. Because if they haven't and they think, actually, I do need to memorise them, memorise that, you're setting someone up for failure, aren't you?
Exactly.
Yeah, but this is what I mean about the two-stage system. So if they were to be, for example, have basic questions at the start to join PD, and then they have time to learn throughout the rank 0, and obviously before they rank up, they do the more advanced questions, they're more likely to pass, as well as they'll know this pretty much off by heart.
Right. Can you investigate a badge?
No, you can't. But this the thing though. I didn't know a lot of this stuff. Like a lot of the stuff that I
No,
know
I know
right
it's a
now.
question. I'm putting some simple questions in there that a lot of people don't know. We have actually had a couple of officers not know you can't investigate a badge. They think that because you've got the uniform, you can arrest. So I'm thinking, even if people fail, at least they are going away with knowledge, which might help us.
Could you reword that of, are
Yeah,
you
how?
able to arrest without the correct training? Because without the training, you can't get the badge.
How about, are you able to investigate training in a badge? Or, yeah, word it better than that.
Yeah, something to that. Because obviously, without that training, you can't get a badge anyway.
No, it's never true. I'll put some up at body cams as well. See, to be fair, I don't think can you have a body cam, can you wear a body cam and blah, blah. I don't think that should even be a question because people always just say yes to it.
I think
They
it should
can
be more of
sense that the
a,
answer's yes. They sense
yeah,
the answer's yes to it, so they say yes.
I
That
think that
should
should be
stay
more of a
in.
requirement.
Well, it is, yeah. What we started doing was after they had the interview, they would have like a contract they would have to agree to, and on that contract would be to always record.
But then on top of that, I think they should, obviously anyone could just say yes or agree to something. But the thing is, if they could send it into Discord, I think that would be better. And obviously, I had the issue, Betty, where obviously my phone was overheating, and on top of that, the built-in OS system screen recording used to take a lot of battery and used to create a lot of problems. So obviously, after I was told about a third-party app and stuff like that, that's when I found the game a bit more, like a lot more tolerable and a lot more easier and better to play with.
Yeah, true.
And one thing I've noticed is um, a lot of people that have joined PD and then left, sometimes with the new recruit, they try kind of baiting them, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is obviously a similar situation happened to me where uh, obviously luckily for me, I've caught on, okay, this person's trying to bait me out, trying to get me in trouble, this, that. And obviously I didn't know. So obviously I kind of I forgot who it was. I went and asked, and they said, "Oh, they're just trying to bait you and whatnot." So obviously, on top of that, I think the body system will definitely help in terms of grasping on um, how things work and how to actually take on situations. And I think that's the main problem is when I was a recruit, I didn't know understand how to take on situations.
Yeah, the buddy system, I think it does help because having someone to lean on and stuff. It did help me, and a lot of other people who without realising it have got a buddy.
And the only other benefit with that is the PD works more as a team in terms of um, a general aspect.
Yeah, that's good though. I'm just looking through questions, all the rules and stuff. How many hours a day could you serve the citizens of one state? We used to say we require a minimum of 2 hours, so they'd be like, "Yeah, I can do that." But when I was interviewing, we didn't tell them we required 2 hours. We asked them, and
But
on a rare occasion, you get some people say, "Oh, I can go on the weekends."
I think that's a bit unfair in terms of um, RP and real life.
To be
But
honest with you,
obviously,
Abdul, look at the members list. There's people on there inactive for 3 or 4 days. I ain't kicking them off. I don't kick them off till they get to 7. And as you notice, we've got a geezer there at the minute, Beanie Toast. What happened there is he had 7 days off, yeah? So essentially, he's not actually been off as long as he has. Our vacation page disappeared. So everybody knew that he was on vacation, but he wasn't put on vacation. So he's only actually been gone 7, 8 days. But because he's been off, he's finding it hard to get back into the swing of things. He's been honest with me and said he can't get out of his vacation he went on our vacation, by the way. He's finding it hard to get back into the swing of things. And only just earlier, I've been trying to message him for the past few days. I've got no response. Really? I should just kick him right out, be done. I messaged him and says to him, "Come on, it's going too far. I'm going to have to dismiss you." And right after I sent it, I thought to myself, "Oh, I feel bad." So I messaged him back and I said, please get in touch with me tomorrow or today. Otherwise, I really will have to. And I will. I'll have to. But he's been part of PD for a while, in and out, in and out, in and out. So I'm giving him that decency. I hate doing the 7 days with him. Same as Gregor. Gregor at the minute's got things to work, RL. So he ain't getting the 7 days. Like, we're not monsters. So I don't really do that. You know what? Maybe we shouldn't include the 2 hour thing because we don't really do that actually.
No, it does make sense.
Do you work well as a team?
Everyone's
Manuel?
going to say yes.
Yeah, they are.
They're going to say yeah because that's what the answer's meant to be.
So I'm gonna have to actually find some actual questions now, not personality questions. Okie doke, nighty night.
See you later, Jay.
See you, Oedipus.